Hey guys, welcome to the Gods Unchained beta with the Professor. Alright, it's time for our Monday Mythic Meta for the Ranked Weekend event that ran on November 26th, 27th, and 28th. Let's take a look at our results. Here's a list of our top players, and we can see two players tied with 24 wins apiece, almost a perfect run for both players. Congratulations. We have several other players with 23 wins, a great performance as well. And then we have multiple people with 22 wins fighting it out for the last three spots of 8th, 9th, and 10th place. So again, these are unofficial results. So let's see what happens when the MMR results are published and are official. We'll see which of the 22 win players will get 8th, 9th, and 10th place. Let's go into more details. Looking at our top 20, we can see that 8 players played Nature, 6 players played War, 2 players each played Death and Magic, and then we have Light and Deception with 1 player each in the top 20. For our top 10, Light took first place, War took second and 8th place, Nature took 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th place, Magic took 4th place, and Death took 6th and 10th. For number of wins, we can see that Light and War had 24 wins each for their best deck. The best Death, Magic, and Nature decks managed 23 wins, and the best Deception deck managed 22 wins. Looking at our deck types, we can see that 13 players in the top 20 played an aggro deck, 5 players in the top 20 played a control deck, and we have 2 players that played a mid-range deck. Let's take a closer look at our top decks. Our best light deck with 24 wins was an aggro light deck using the Heal God Power. You have your usual low curve here with 14 1-mana cards. You have your strong early light cards like Blind Martyr, Cudgel of Atonement, Ritual Rod. You supplement that with Pyramid Warden, Light's Levy, Radiant Dawn, Highborn Knight, Canonize. Some new cards that we don't usually see are Cadmos, Helios Justicar, and Lysander, Champion of Light. Another card that we haven't seen in a while is Bartolese, a legendary 3-mana creature that gains health and strength depending on the board state and the number of creatures that you or your opponent has. For those of you interested in copying the decks, I will be including the deck codes of our top decks in the description of the video. Our best war deck managed 24 wins. This one's an aggro war deck using the Slayer God Power. This one is a low curve deck with 19 cards costing 1 or 2 mana. You have the staple aggro war cards like Out of His Misery, Master Tactician, Tavern Brawler, Valka's Captain, Warmonger Smith. You have strong key cards like Adi, Valka's Herald, Archangel Bruiser, and Sides of the Harvest. One thing to note about this deck is that it runs 6 relics. 2 relics from Valka's Captain, 2 Blades of Styx, and 2 Sides of the Harvest. This deck also runs the 4-mana buff card, Another Round, which gives a creature on your board +3/+3, and it triggers an option where a creature in your hand can gain +1/+1 if you reach Frenzy. Our best nature deck managed 23 wins. This one's an aggro nature deck using the Flourish God Power. You have your strong early nature cards with Chiron, Marshwalker, Canopy Barrage, Fey-Fame Blade, Lightning Strike. You have strong neutral cards like Shield Bearer, Pyramid Warden. You follow those up with strong cards like Mooncrate Cyclops, Selena, the Jaguar Staff, Giant Pangolin, and the Hunt. Our best magic deck finished with 23 wins. This one's an aggro magic deck with the Mage Bolt God Power. This deck focuses on low cost cards which include spell removals and creatures. You have Ancient Text, Assistant Alchemist, Flying Carpet, Shadow Scryer, Street Conjurer, Demetrios. You have your removal cards with Star Shard Bolt, Tracking Bolt, Vow of Learning, Worm Breath, Crystal Rain. You have strong magic cards with the Miraculous Familiar, Oni Spellsword, and Palace, Champion of Magic. And you have 1 copy of Epiphany, which allows you to do 6 damage directly to your opponent's god or to a creature on the board and also draws you a card. Our best death deck managed 22 wins. This one's a controlled death deck with the Blood Ritual God Power. You're looking at strong, low-cost cards that death has for removal and control, which also includes heal. You have Blight Bomb for removal, Fleshbind for heal, Siren of the Grave for stalling, Sulfuric Rain for removal and card draw, Burrowing Scarab for card draw, Eva, Baroness of the Dead for controlling the opponent's board. You have Fanatic of Gnome for ramping up, a little bit more healing with Just a Nibble. The deck then focuses on a high-end curve after that. You have 2 copies of Canopic Hoarder to activate afterlife effects of the Siren of the Grave and Eva, Baroness of the Dead. You have your removals now. You have Neferu with the AoE effect. You have Reap for targeted removal, Apocalypse Now for mass removal, and End Times. You have late game value with Jason, Demogorgon, and Polyhymnia. Our best deception deck managed 22 wins. This one's a control deception deck with the flip God Power. You're looking to control the board early on with removals and sleep for stalling. You have Spellbound, Stoneskin Poison, Hunting Trap, Sleep Dart. And then you have your mass effect cards like Elixir of the Panther, Exercise, A Toast to Peace, Elixir of the Snake, Rapture Dance, Orpheus Guile. You have late game value cards with Demogorgon, Charm, and Polyhymnia. Taking a look at our weekend snapshot at the mythic level, we can see that War is the top god with a 21% popularity and a 51% win rate. War is positive across the board versus Death, Deception, Nature, and Light, and has a losing matchup versus Magic. Death also has a positive win rate, but a small representation of 7%. Death does fare very well versus Nature, and you'll see that's relevant because Nature comes in at a 44% popularity. That means that almost half the players at the Mythic level are playing Nature. Nature's win rate is close to 50% at 49.8. Nature has a positive win rate over Magic and Light. Both Deception and Magic have a close to 50% win rate with 49% win rate here. And they both have a decent representation at 10% for Magic and 9% for Deception. Deception has positive win rates over Death, Nature, and Light, while Magic has a positive win rate over War, Death, and Deception. The least represented god and the lowest win rate goes to Light at 7% representation and a 48% win rate. Light does have positive matchup over Death and Magic. Also, with Light taking first place this past weekend with 24 wins, that makes the case that Zoo Light is still a factor in the meta for competitive play. Taking a look at our top 10 scoreboard, updated with last week's result, biggest change is Doubtless. Doubtless jumps up 3 spots into the number 8 position. We had talked about how Doubtless has been very consistent the last few 3 to 4 weeks of ranked weekend event, coming in the top 10 spot each time during those last 3 to 4 weeks. He has moved all the way up to number 8 now. Another big move is Fake Muse here, jumping into the 18th spot, moving up 7 places with his top 10 finish last weekend. All right, here's a list of our top players again. Congratulations on a great weekend, and good luck on your packs when you receive them later this week.